Good afternoon, I'm Brett and welcome to my backyard. Today I want to talk about transplanting our little plants that we have propagated into larger pots or into the ground. You could do either one, but I'm doing mostly a raised bed, so I'm going to be going into a little bigger pot. I'm not using the biggest pot that I'm going to ultimately have it in for the season today, just for the video purpose. I don't know that I could fit it on the table here, so this one I'll have to transplant again eventually, but we're going to start off with one that we can show here. Now, whether you've raised your own from seed, which I generally like to do, or you've gone and gotten one from the nursery, sometimes by the time we are ready to put our little plants out, they've not outgrown the container so much, but they may be getting to the limit of what the container can handle. Now, like most of y'all, our local little nursery opened up today, and I went and got a few from them. I like supporting local businesses, and this is a lovely poblano pepper here, grown in East Texas. And I love these. These are great for cooking with. Really gotten to like these a lot over the past few years. Now, first thing I want to show you is, like I said, this one looks to be healthy enough. It's not extremely too tall. Sometimes when you go buy these little pots, you want to get the biggest one you can find. It's this tall, but you got to think about the root space down here. Has it overgrown its container so much that those roots may have been hindered a bit? This one is good and proportional right now with the plant to the root base, but I'm going to bet when we get into here that what has happened is these roots have started to grow around the container a little bit. They grow down, they grow out, but this little container keeps them from only going so far, and so they start to wrap around here and get what we call pot bound. So that also makes it sometimes difficult when you're trying to get it out. You see, well, that little plant's not just coming on out of there. And if that's the case, what I do is, my wife loves this, I got a butter knife from the kitchen here to see how thin it is, almost invisible on the screen there. And what I do is I just go down the side here very carefully and just separate all the way around, because sometimes it'll be squishing up against the sides there real heavy like. Okay. And that's it. Now that's going to help us get that little plant out of there a bit easier. Now we can do like we all want to do. We'll just cover the top there, flip it over. Should be just an easy little squeeze on the bottom now. Comes right out. Now, as you can see, this one is not bad at all, but it's starting to get a little bit of what we call pot bound. You see how the roots are starting to circle around there? Now that's okay. This one's not too bad. Sometimes you'll get one and this will be a whole mess of roots on this side. You can't even see the dirt hardly. Like I said, the plants that are bigger are a lot more likely to be like that. So this one, not bad at all, as you can see, but we're going to give it a little assistance anyway. This one's just perfect, just ready to grow into a bigger pot. Got just a couple of roots here starting to overlap. We're just going to very carefully grab them that are starting to turn and just pull them out, just like so, and that's it. That way they'll start flaring out nicely when we go to put it in the other pot. Now, if you do get one that's too pot bound like that and you can't get those roots separated a little bit, you may have to get some scissors and clip them some to allow them to expand on out. What we don't want to happen when we plant this is for them roots to just continue to circle and circle and in effect strangle our little plant there. So the next thing is, most of your plants, the seed was started at a certain level and has been growing this whole time, and that is where the plant has found is just its right spot to grow. Now, some of them, like this here tomato plant, as you may have seen in another video, these things, tomatoes are one of them. You can bury this tomato all the way up to here, and it's just going to create more roots all the way along this area. You don't have to worry about it quite as much. But some of your plants, a lot of them, they like to be at that nice, comfortable level, just like us. We get set in our ways. So, what I've done, I got my pot here. I've already prepared it. Just right at that level. Beautiful. And then we're just going to take a little bit of our pot and mix here. Use an old ice scoop. Works great. Just go around it. A little more. There we go. And I'll just tuck that in. We don't want to compact it too much, but I'm just kind of getting it a little firm, but not solid compact into there. Now we're going to give it just another layer to bring it on up to level. All right. There we go. Now that didn't take too long, did it? As you can see, that plant is just sitting in there, just right at the same level, just right where it needs to be. And that'll allow it to grow on out for a little while longer. Get to this size. Like I said, this is not where this one's going to stay permanently, but this one will probably go in with me on my windowsill this afternoon. And we'll let it go a little bit longer before it joins the sisters out there in the garden permanently. But last thing we want to do before we take it in, we still got some sunshine, we're going to soak this real well. We're just going to water it in until basically like you were trying to completely fill this up. And we're going to let it drain on out. We don't want to give just a hair of water to get it down to here. We want to completely water it in. And that way it'll soak good all around the roots. It'll help compact that soil a little bit. Get all them air pockets that may be in there. Get them out of the way. It's going to make it a nice, beautiful plant. It's going to make a lot of fruit for us this year. A lot of good dinners. We're going to love it. And so we're going to do that same thing. We've got some herbs over here. And like I said, our tomato, when we plant them, we're gonna go ahead and bury them quite a bit up here because tomatoes can handle that, and we like to get extra root growth. Don't be worried about losing out on some of that tomato height to start. Trust me, the extra root structure, you're going to love it in the end. It's going to allow for a lot thicker, better producing plant in the long run. So, hope y'all enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below, and we'll catch you next time.